Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And I can't help but grin for this one. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, SNP policy is that they want a republic. And they want a united, independent Scotland. That's their ideal. That's what they want, it's what they plan, it's what they push out there to everybody who cares to listen. And so they've organised this march, the All Under One Banner March, and various people had sworn that they would definitely attend and speak to people because it's important. And on the day of the march, one of the key speakers doesn't turn up. Kate Forbes said, I've got a bit of a sore throat today, boss, can't come in, And she didn't turn up to this march, presumably because she felt that, given the fact that these things always end up with a lot of anti-English chanting and, abuse and things like that, she didn't want to be associated with that. So she pulls out for the feeblest reasons. I've got flu of the throat or some such thing. Medical marvel, absolutely. Brand new disease, just discovered. So she didn't turn up. We'll have a look at that. I'm not going to go into that story in full detail. We'll just have a little look and see what happens there. But she wasn't the only one who didn't turn up. Forbes and Yousaf also said that he would be there. But then he had a previous engagement. Now, don't forget, this is the party that wants a republic that is anti-royalist and it is fighting to become an independent republic. But he had this prior arrangement. We'll have a look at this. It's delicious. It is hypocrisy of the first water. It is a question of cultural appropriation. I also want to bring that into it. And we have to ask, why is the SNP totally afraid of making a stance on policies it publicly announces, but then personally backs down from doing? It truly is a case of Coronation Chicken. Let's look. Now, we'll start with the Kate Forbes thing, simply because that's the earlier of the two stories. She announced it literally on the morning, early doors on the morning of the Saturday, where she was due to attend in Glasgow to be a keynote speaker at this rally. But I think she's looked at what this has devolved into. No pun intended, but what it's become every other time, where there seems to be anti-English racism, sort of abuse. She doesn't want to tie herself to that, because if going forward, all of a sudden she does become leader, she has to deal with other matters. She doesn't want to have this tying her to that. She doesn't want to be sitting there and have her pictures of her standing smiling on a platform with these people and having these anti-English chants in the background and her giving her that support. So it's not surprising that she very valiantly found a way of getting a very, very short-term very serious disease that suddenly apparently clears up in 12 hours or something, But anyway, here we go. The former SNP leadership contender revealed she would not be joining the likes of Alex Salmond and Ash Regan at the All Under One Banner March in Glasgow during the King's coronation. I presume she sat at home and, pretended to be ill, made herself a little lemsip, and spent the morning watching television. There's bound to be something on, wasn't there? The Extreme Nationalist March, scheduled for Saturday, has got off. We're not American. Has got off to a very rocky start, as one of its most prominent speakers has pulled out, citing ill health. Yes, very conveniently. Former Finance Secretary Kate Forbes agreed to speak at All Under One Banner's Independence March, which was organised to coincide with the coronation of King Charles. She joined her fellow SNP leadership contenders in accepting an invitation to be a keynote speaker, with Ash Regan still expected to speak. Forbes and Yousaf pulled out despite promising he would attend. That's so that he could head down to London for the royal ceremony. This is a man who is a Republican who wants nothing to do with royalty, and yet when given the chance to go sit there in the Abbey, watch the king being the coronation of the king, watch him being crowned, said yes please, and ran as fast as his tiny little legs would get him down to London to get into the Abbey, hopefully with a good seat, and be part of the proceedings. Hypocrisy much? What's all this calls for a republic? What's all this I won't want anything to do, not my king? You know, all this rubbish. Yeah? Then you see a flash of royalty and off you scuttle. You are a menace, aren't you? Anyway, you don't. This is the thing. He doesn't even have the conviction of his own beliefs. He talks and the words come out. It means you can't believe anything. If he was true to his beliefs, he'd have said, "Thanks for the invite. No, I won't go." But of course, Mrs. Forbes and Yousaf would have been going, "You're bloody going," you know. And of course, and to be fair, like any wise man, you know, if you want a happy life, you have a happy wife. So it's undoubtedly Mrs. Yousaf has said, "I'm going." And dragged him down there, but he had to go. But we'll have a look at him in a minute. Let's finish this bit. Miss Forbes has cancelled as well, stating she is too ill to travel up to Glasgow from her home in Fort William. Up to Glasgow? Have they moved? Fort William? Glasgow? You go down to Glasgow, surely. From her home in Fort William to attend the march. AUOB events have previously been marred by anti-English chanting, with the SNP's Holyrood contingent and the Scottish Greens avoiding association with the organisers because they're extremists. They are, you know, it descends into this. If the chanting is anti-English, imagine if the chanting was anything else: anti-Jewish, anti-black, anti-Muslim. They would be castigated. They would be expunged. The police would investigate. But it's okay because it's anti-English, and apparently that's allowable in Forbes and Yousaf, Scotland. Weird, isn't it? You wouldn't be allowed to, you know, chant anything else, anti-anyone else, any other group. Surely anti-English. It must come under hate laws. The police need to go in and do these arrests, but they won't. Anyway, Alba Party leader Alex Salmond is expected to take to the stage on George Square on Saturday afternoon to give a speech. Now, there was this. I'm not going to go into it too much. There was a rally. There weren't the numbers that they thought they were going to get. There was about, 1,000, 1,500, something like that. It wasn't huge. It wasn't the tens of thousands they were hoping for. But there was some people turned out. You know, it's a Saturday afternoon. There's some shopping, you know, maybe... You know, take the kids to the park in the afternoon. Oh, we got that rally. Should we go? Wait, no, shall we bugger? You know. Anyway, Miss Forbes posted on Twitter on Saturday confirming she would miss the event. She said, "I was due to speak at the rally today, but I've informed the team that I've got a flu of sorts, which has affected my ability to speak, v sore throat, and travel, v tired, and as such cannot join in. Was waiting till the last moment, hoping health would improve, but sadly hasn't." Now, that sounds the sort of thing you'd phone your boss up on a morning and say, "Oh, sorry, boss, can't come in," because you've made plans. That's exactly what it is. There's no way she's ill. Let's go and test her today and see how miraculous her recovery has been. "I stand with you," she said, "united by a collective belief in Scotland, our belief that better days are ahead." They certainly are, because there's an election soon and the SNP could be out. But only if we seize the opportunities of independence, when you had a chance yesterday and decided to cowardly not attend. She said, "It is not enough to defend devolution or fight the UK government over various issues. It's not enough to just argue for referendums year after year. Referendums that you would lose anyway." Her message was gently mocked on social media, as well-wishers told her to enjoy watching the King's coronation on TV instead of joining the march in Glasgow. And had she watched it, and I bet she probably did, she would have seen a lot of familiar faces. And so, you know, she'd have said, "Oh, yeah, maybe I should have gone down. Maybe I should have gone to the coronation. Maybe squeezed in as part of the party." You know, but yeah, I mean, it was no way she was ill. But anyway, she's gone off and left it. And of course, that's so she could watch the coronation. She's probably sitting there, you know, a wee glass of champagne, toasting the king. Because, you know, that's the sort of thing that a normal person would do. Anyway, this, of course, is the counter side of that. Yousaf breaks a promise to attend the independence rally on Coronation Day. And we have to ask why, after promising, after being a Republican, after saying in the Scottish Parliament he wants nothing to do with royalty, he wants an independent Scotland to be a republic, he doesn't want a hereditary head of state. And he makes a promise to the people that he'll be at that rally and speaking. And then, of course, you can't believe him because he lies. Forbes and Yousaf has broken a promise to speak at an independence rally in Glasgow on the same day as the King's coronation. All under one banner invited all three of the candidates in the SNP's leadership contest to address the march last month. And at the time, a spokesman for Mr. Yousaf said Hamza will accept and would love to speak at the AUOB event on the 6th of May 2023. Should have checked his diary, he would have seen he had another engagement that day. His position then changed later in the battle for Bute House when he said he would try to attend both the coronation and the rally, and then decided, nah, I ain't going to the rally. I've got a chance to go meet the King. He told the National, as an independent activist, I've proudly attended a number of rallies which hold important place in our movement. Yeah, he does this thing. I've previously done this, but I'm not doing it now. It's a bit like voting, isn't it? I've previously said support for gender recognition, but I'm not actually going to vote for it because he's frit. He dare not turn up to these things. Plus also, Mrs. Forbes and Yousaf has dragged him down to London, as I say. He says, my views on the monarchy are well known, but as Scotland's First Minister, it's vitally important that I represent the people of Scotland who hold a range of different views. Yeah, that's right, mate. That's right. Blame other people. Again, you had balls, you'd not go. You'd say, no, Scotland should be an independent republic, and we are not pandering to the King in England. That's all you have to say. People would look at you and go, well, at least he's got the courage of his conviction, instead of looking at you and going, you scared little rabbit. He said, if SNP members put their trust in me to lead our party and become Scotland's First Minister, I will look to find a solution to find both attempts if that's possible. It's not possible. You're talking 600, 700 miles away from each other. There's no way you can do it because, you'd rather be with the King and rub elbows with the rich and the famous and the powerful rather than the people of Scotland. He said, with both events starting at roughly the same time, it would be impossible to attend both, and the new SNP leader will now be heading to Westminster Abbey in complete contravention of everything he stated beforehand about wanting to be a republic and not wanting anything to do with royalty. So again, the man lies. He cannot be trusted. But that's not even the worst. We're just going to take a look at this picture. Pop, and here we are. And there's Hamza and Mrs. Yousaf arriving at the Abbey. Good Muslim, turning up at a Christian festival, a Church of England festival, because it's absolutely. And he's taken the liberty of wearing a kilt. Now, isn't that cultural appropriation? He does not have a Scottish cultural background. And if you are, if you are white and wearing dreads, people say that's cultural appropriation. If you wear cornrows, that's cultural appropriation. Shouldn't someone who doesn't come from a Scottish background who starts wearing a kilt suddenly be guilty of cultural appropriation? Why aren't people calling him? Well, I am. That's cultural appropriation. That is wrong. You do not have the culture to wear that particular item of clothing. That is for Scottish people. And you always identify yourself and talk about your culture and your heritage. So why are you all of a sudden wearing that? Seems a bit odd, doesn't it? I mean, I don't blame him. If he wants to wear it, he can wear it. I'm not bothered. But it's the hypocrisy that he always goes on about his culture and his heritage and how important it was to him, and yet he's prepared to drop all that and wear this kilt because he thinks he's more Scottish, and people in Scotland will see that he's actually, Muck Yousaf now or something. Who knows? But of course he wasn't alone. As you watched the King go up the aisle, you saw who was it? Stephen Flynn was there. He was, obviously another staunch Republican who felt on the day it would be better if he went and watched the King get crowned. What is up with these people? If they got no balls, do they not sit there and think, well, for years I've been saying that we need to be a republic, but yeah, it's the King, innit? It's the King. I'll go up and watch a man being crowned. Oh, look at the pomp and circumstance. Listen to the trumpets. These people are hypocritical, two-faced tosspots, aren't they? Anyway, I shall round off and come up. So it seems that the leader of the SNP in Westminster, Stephen Flynn, enjoys a good coronation. It seems the leader of the party and Scotland's First Minister enjoys a good coronation, and it even seems that Kate Forbes herself fancies sitting on the sofa and watching a good coronation. And, you know, who can blame them? It was a hell of a show. We're the only country in the world that do it. We're the only country in the world that probably could do it. And everyone going on, oh, it cost 250 million. They sold the TV rights alone for over $1 billion. So that argument about cost is quite clearly a load of old rubbish. They've made already far more money. Every hotel in London was booked out. Those bars, those restaurants, they have made way more than £250 million. This has done the country financially the world of good. And so any argument about monetary issues over it is a load of dingo's kidneys. I accept perfectly well that there are people who do not want a hereditary monarchy. That's fine. You know, you can hold your views. I don't care that you have those views. But to be hypocritical and call for it and then go and attend the bloody coronation, do these people not understand how they look? It's just, but they'll come up with some bullshit argument about, oh, well, I had to go to represent Scotland. No, if you truly believed in what you were saying, you'd have not gone to represent Scotland. But you can't, because it's just like, oh, we got a chance of going. We got a chance of being on TV. Wankers, every one of them. What hypocritical, two-faced wankers. Anyway, I could just moan about this all day. I'm going to stop. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, but especially leave a like. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. If you have a chance of going to a coronation or any kind of thing like that, take it. They are brilliant. And goodbye.